we have the Clemson University team, Dr. Matthew Browning, Dr. Olivia McAnirlin, and Hsieh. Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon or late morning. We are are we controlling the clicker or are you all controlling the clicker? Sorry. Oh, you all have the power clicker. Okay, perfect. Next slide, please. So we are part of Clemson Campus Nature RX. Matt and I work on a fantastic team that has been doing something called Nature Ideas across 9 universities. And then Shen is joining us as well because the three of us kind of built up Clemson Campus Nature X. And Shen is our fantastic forest therapy trained guide who will be able to give context and application to what we're going to talk about today. But we're going to focus on a collaborative approach to mapping campus nature for student well-being. Next slide. Awesome. Okay, a little bit about Nature Ideas in case the acronym got you a little bit excited. So this is a randomized control trial to increase time in nature, and we did this with almost 1,000 undergrad students across 9 universities. Within that 9 universities, 3 were HBCUs, and there was one Hispanic and tribal serving university. And we looked at undergraduate students, so 18 to 24, within 30 miles of campus in fall 2024 and spring 2025. So to be part of Nature Ideas, these students had to do 3 different surveys. We also had them download a Nature Dose app. So that app is a GPS-based app that allows us to track where they are spending time in nature. So then we are able to get the data to say, where are they spending time in nature? How much time are they spending there? And a lot of other interesting questions from that GPS-based perspective. And then we also ask them questions about their mental health, their nature access, their nature belonging, other demographics, and then the intervention itself. So we're asking them all these surveys, but we ask surveys before the intervention, and then we randomize the students to either one, you get some information on nature's health benefits through like a textbook chapter, a little paragraph, some write-up in your email, or we tried something that was more what you would consider a treatment. They get that same paragraph, but they also get social pressure. They got told if their nature score, their time in nature, was better than their other people in their college, like the other students in the study, or if they could like do spend some more time in nature and try to catch up. And then also we gave opportunity to win prizes that were sort of outdoorsy themed LL Bean related prizes if they increase their time in nature. So we tried a lot of strategies to see what would get undergraduates thinking, I want to increase time in nature. So with all of that said, this study was a very big piece, and we're going to be talking about only big thing. We're talking about only a small piece of the puzzle today. But one of the first steps that we had to do within this multiple research question is we had to figure out what do we consider campus nature. So the goal of the rest of our talk is going to be the primary objective of how did we identify, classify, and map campus nature to support student mental health and reveal that disparity in access. So Matt's going to take it away. He's our GIS person, and he's going to share some maps with us.
Thanks, Olivia. Next slide, please. So it begs the question of how would you begin to identifying campus nature? And I might go online and just look at Google Maps and see which areas are green. But that is probably going to undercount certain types of nature and overcount others. So then you might say, well, facilities might be a good place to ask where there's nature on campus because they mow the lawn and they might be watering trees that had just been planted, et cetera. But you could also make the argument that maybe you should get a map from campus recreation. They often are the ones that are facilitating programming in, for example, sports fields and other outdoor recreation areas. Another option would be going to the city that the university's in and asking their Parks and Recreation Department where are green spaces in the town. Or you could go for Trust for Public Land. They have a Park Serve database, which is supposed to be a comprehensive look at parks in over 70,000, I think, cities across the country. Well, another option, if you went to one of these exercise apps like All Trails or Strava, they have heat maps on where people are walking, biking, and running. So maybe that would be a better indicator because there may be areas that are not actually mapped. And so you want to look where those GPS tracks are. And then if you are really into measuring with GPS and GIS, the health benefits of nature, you might have heard of this thing called NDVI, which is sort of the total greenness of an area. And maybe we'll just look at which areas are green and count the ones over some threshold as nature. Or we could just give students all of them and say, good luck. Here's a bunch of different ways to find nature, see which one is closest and resonates with you. Or we could just provide no maps and just ask students to find their own without those resources. So for this study, we had to come up with something more systematic than that. Next slide, please. And it is very important to do this, particularly at our campus, because you can see the circle down at the bottom. That's sort of the main campus. That's where many people might think about campus. But when we are encouraging them to get outside in nature, there are all these places beyond the main campus that many students, many of whom have cars, or they might travel on bus, would go to. For example, there's this large experimental forest north of campus. There's a reservoir that's managed by the federal government, by the Army Corps of Engineers. There is a public beach next to campus. There are these beautiful elevated dikes right along the reservoir. There are mountain biking trails at another college that's just next door. There's a botanical gardens run by the state. And then there's also golf course. There's multiple golf courses which are run by the conference center. So you can't just go to one entity to figure out where all these things are. Next slide, please. And then I will say, even beyond what I just showed, there are places of nature that are missing in action. So this is a street where we walk to school every day. You can see that there are nature-lined streets, and those wouldn't be on a map, right? I mean, those you'd only capture based off of where people are moving. There's also pocket gardens. There's formal walkways, and then there's many shortcuts in between parking lots and buildings that might be important factors in students increasing their time in nature by taking those versus just walking on the road. Next slide, please. So the collaborative approach we developed for the study was first to make a base map using the available online data we could find. Second, to consult with campus representatives from facilities, campus recreation, groundskeepers, etc., on that base map. This was often over Zoom. And then we went back and revised the base map and shared it back with those people. And then eventually we surveyed each of the principal investigators at the 9 universities participating in the study to evaluate how consistent they thought those campus representatives were giving feedback on the map of campus nature. Next slide, please. And this is ultimately what we came up with for Clemson. You can see we had to classify different types of nature, and those are the different colors. This is an interactive map that we hope to be launching soon on our website. And you can see some definitions that the principal investigators have agreed upon in color, and there were other ones that we are still trying to articulate. But you can see that these are not common names that we might think about, such as other kept grounds. These are really important areas that might be used for walking, biking between places or informal meeting spots, but are not designated as a designated recreation area for people. Next slide, please. And then there were also great differences in the types and amount of nature across the universities. So this would be a great thing to do at the universities that people are coming from here or are familiar with, you can see that, for example, the University of Mexico, New Mexico, the largest share of their nature were sports fields. Now, the extent to which that provides health benefits in in comparison to a botanical garden, that would need to be studied. But you can see that the sports fields are the most dominant feature and might be the most accessible to the largest number of students. So maybe more programming should be facilitated there. Whereas University of Maryland had a very large botanical garden that would be accessible to students. And then the other thing that I want to point out is you can see that in our sample, the percentage of campus that is covered by nature ranges from about 10% up to about 70%. So there are great disparities in what type of nature and how much nature students will have across universities. Next slide, please. And our follow-up survey with each of the university principal investigators found that this process of identifying sort of experts and representatives to evaluate these base maps was very successful. They felt like they were confident that the campus rep was knowledgeable about IDing nature, and they felt like the campus representative was somewhat or very careful in IDing campus nature during that process. Next slide, please. So we are going to transition now to Hsieh's wonderful forest therapy program. And the benefit of some of the work that Hsieh is going to present here in a second is that, as we mentioned, there's lots of nature in and around our campus. We're blessed in that way. However, as seen on the map on the right, most of the time that students spend outdoors in nature is in a very small area. This is data from the Nature Dose app, from the Nature Ideas study, and Hsieh's going to be talking about how she used forest therapy to get students beyond just the immediate area around the most popular green space on campus. Next slide, please.
So thanks, Dr. Browning. So I'm Hsieh, and I'm third-year PhD student here at Clemson, and also a certified forest therapy guide. We have had a chance to create this new forest therapy class on campus, and as you can see in this map, we're trying to introduce new nature recreation area around campus for the students, such as the experimental forest, campus community garden, or the South Carolina Botanical Garden just right next to our campus. And also there's a beautiful recreation beach. So next slide, please. And so we have created this whole semester forest therapy class. It's an ongoing project, and we have a chance to recruit more than 60 students on campus to join this class. And then we did a pre and post survey to evaluate their mental health, social health, nature connectedness, and pro-environmental attitudes. And the intervention is essentially the whole semester forest therapy courses. Next slide, please. So what we did during the forest therapy walk, for example, we did like nature connection. So we have these beautiful campus community gardens. So the students were invited to have a taste, use their 5 senses. This is the picture that they taste muscadine. And also in the end of every walk, we normally would have a shared cup of tea. So this is a great way for them to have a taste from the forest. And also for the physical activity, a lot of times we incorporate different modalities such as like yoga, stretching, breathing, and just a slow stroll in the woods. And also the social engagement component. So sometimes we will gather students to create a community and some collaborative place. For example, this is a creation on the beach, and also a sharing circle, share their reflection. And lastly, we use nature journaling. So every class, we have some prompts, like what are you noticing during this forest therapy walk? Next slide, please. So some preliminary results from our first batch in our first semester, those 20 students, we found the significant decrease of their anxiety level, and also a significant decrease in these UCLA loneliness skills, which was very promising to see in those 1 semesters, and also a significant increase in their connectedness to nature. We don't have a lot of time to share today about the future progress. It's an important project. So if you're interested, please scan the QR code on the right-hand side and keep be update on this interesting project. Thank you.
So thank everyone for your attention here today. We would like to sincerely thank our sponsor, the REI Cooperative Action Fund, as well as the Nature and Health Alliance, who has supported us in all of this work. So if you'd like to keep updated on the Nature Ideas project, you can scan this QR code and go to the Clemson University NatureRx program. You could also reach out to Olivia and I at nature@clemson.edu. Dr. Pearson, who's the PI for the whole Nature Ideas study, this 1,000-student RCT, longitudinal data with GPS tracking at apearson@msu.edu. And then Hsieh, our forest therapy guide, her address is there as well. So thank you all.